I first want to start by just sharing that I'm coming on live because my spirit has been very strongly guiding me to say something. And in this kind of circumstance and situation, one that we've never faced in our lifetimes like this, it's kind of hard sometimes to know exactly what to say. And I want to start by saying that I am honoring where each and every person is. I understand that a lot of people are feeling very scared. And a lot of people are really, really struggling with the fear of a variety of things, the fear of the virus, the fear of losing family members, the fear of somebody getting sick, the fear of having to be isolated if you are contaminated, the fear of missing out on their travels or their trips or spending time with their friends or going to the places that they wanted to go, the fear of losing their money in their 401ks. And like, there's so much fear happening right now. Can you feel it? Are you feeling it yourself? And that fear, my friends, the fear, this is the big virus. This is the real virus that infiltrates all of our systems. I am not negating in any way that we have got to be safe and we've got to take precautions and you've got to wash your hands. And if you're someone with a weakened immune system, to be extra cautious and stay away from people. All of that I absolutely agree with. But the level of fear that we as a society, as humanity, is so incredibly high and toxic right now. It is toxic. And fear is the virus that is spreading like wildfire. And what's happening is it is infiltrating each and every one of us in a variety of different ways. And what I'm observing and noticing and witnessing around me is the conflict within us of knowing that, yes, I want to be safe, and yes, I want to be healthy, and yes, I want to take care of myself, and yes, I want to make sure my family is okay, and so I'm going to take all these precautions. But when the precautions come from a place of fear, instead of a place of conscious self-care, it activates that fear, and fear is spreading and fear is growing. And I feel called to speak to the fear because there are things we can do, my friends. There are tools. So many of us have so many tools we can use. Are you using them? Yes, we can use the physical tools. We can wash our hands. We can make sure that we don't cough around people, that if we don't feel well, we stay home, that we maintain our own immune system. We can take supplements, and we can eat well, and we can make sure that we get a good sleep, and we can take nice deep breaths, and we can meditate, and we can pray, and we can be mindful of the environments around us and what we're putting our attention on, and we can exercise. We can do all of those physical things, and that absolutely will help support us as we walk through this fear. Absolutely will help support us as we walk through this fear. But there are things that we need to do emotionally. There are things that we need to be mindful of energetically so that we don't continue this cycle, so that it doesn't grow out of control. The fear is far more out of control than the actual virus is right now. The fear is far more deadly than the virus is right now. So I want to just share a couple of things with all of you, and some tools and some tips that we can come together and change the vibration. Many of you that have worked with me and are in my community and are my colleagues, you know how the law of attraction works. You know that we cannot be in a space of healing if we're in a space of fear. And the stress that people are under, the food being gone, and the toilet paper being gone, and the rice and the beans and the water, and all of the holding on and and taking everything to make sure that you have enough, is inciting more and more fear, and it's creating a hysteria. And in that, I think that those of us that are sensitive, those of you that are empaths, you are feeling that energy, and you are oftentimes reacting to that energy, even if you're unaware, even if you're not consciously intending to react. You're reacting. Part of it is just because you're absorbing it, you're feeling it, you're sensing it, and you don't know what to do. And part of it is that you have real concerns, and many of us do. None of us want to see the falling of our economic system, and none of us want to see the fear that is rampant. None of us want to see people getting sick and dying. I don't think any of us want that. But we are contributing to the problem when we continue to talk about it and activate it and react to it. Instead, it's time to respond. And it's time to respond from a place of love. It's time to respond from a place of peace. It's time to respond from a place of responsibility for ourselves and our energy. It is time to respond instead of react. And so I wanted to give you some tools, because I recognize that many of us are feeling feelings of overwhelm and feeling chaotic and feeling powerless and feeling afraid. And even if you're not afraid of the virus, you might be afraid of what's happening because of the virus. Schools are closing down, events are closing down, and stopping everyday activities, and the stock market's going crazy, and there's seemingly loss everywhere. But in moments like this, it is time to come together. Moments like this are when we need to come together and connect heart to heart. We need to be the light, and we need to be the lighthouse for those that have true reasons to be afraid, that have lower immune systems, the elderly and the young, and those that have immune systems that are impacted. We need to be that light for them. We need to shine the light and be the lighthouse. And so what I want to talk about is we have tools to walk us through these things and not let fear take us over. Because the fear right now, I think you would probably all agree, it's taking us over. Society is the entire world. And yes, again, some of us aren't afraid of the virus, but many of us are afraid of how it's affecting our world, how people are reacting, and what's happening because of the reactions. And so that's fear too, right? So what I want to suggest is giving you a couple of tools that may help, because in addition to washing the hands and making sure that you take care of yourself, and if you're not feeling well, stay home, the things that we would do to be responsible responsible citizens of the world in general. We can also, again, as I said earlier, meditate, get good sleep, eat healthy, exercise and move your body. Take the time to visualize the planet in healing. Take some supplements to support you. Get an IV of great vitamins if you feel guided. Take some extra vitamin C. Do the things that you know help support you. Yes, you can do those things. But let's talk about doing some things energetically. Let's talk about doing some things emotionally to help transmute that energy, because my friends, we truly are in a time right now, if you're watching this, or if you know someone who's open to this, that we need to hold space for those people that have been affected by this virus, that are being affected by this virus, or that are in so much fear that they are being affected that way. I'm taking that as my responsibility as a citizen of this world, as a human being, to shine the light for my brothers and sisters who cannot see it right now. because it is not, we are not in the darkness. There are some scary things that are happening, but we do not have to give our power to it. You might feel powerless, but you are not powerless. We have power. We have power. We have energy. We are spirit beings. We have the ability to attract and manifest and heal in amazing ways. And sometimes we need to be reminded of that when life feels like it's taking another turn. So first thing I want to suggest is let's redirect some of this fear energy. So I have a process that I've used for myself for many, many, many years that helps me to just redirect. So the very first thing I want you to think about is, do you even allow yourself to observe the fear instead of getting in judgment of it, instead of getting afraid of it? Just observe it. So you just take a moment and you just observe what that fear is. Just let it come up, because see, what happens is we have the fear, and what we do is we push it down and we push it down and we push it down. I don't want to think that way. I don't want to look at that. It's just scary. And then what happens is every second it just keeps popping up like, hello, hello, hello. Are you paying attention to me? So that energy of fear, it lives inside of us and it doesn't go anywhere. And then every time we feed it a little bit, we give it a little bit more information, we talk about it a little bit, and we get more and more, it just activates it and it makes it bigger and it makes it bigger and it makes it bigger. And then we just push it down because I don't want to feel that way, but then it activates and it gets bigger. So so like the beach ball, when you try to hold a beach ball underwater, and when you hold that beach ball underwater, you cannot take your attention off of it, because if you just hold the beach ball underwater and somebody calls your name, what happens? The beach ball pops up, right? That's the fear. It just pops up and it just shows up in all these areas of your life, even if you don't want it to. So instead of trying to push the fear down, instead of trying to ignore it, instead of denying it, instead of pretending it isn't there, why don't we just acknowledge it? Let's acknowledge it. Right now, in this moment, I have fear. I have fear of the way that we are managing our energy around this. I have fear of being infected. I have fear of being contaminated. I have fear of what would happen if I have to be isolated for 2 weeks. So just acknowledging that fear, just acknowledging it. So the way that I do that is I just take a moment and I tune into what the fear is. I just let it come up. Instead of trying to push it down like that beach ball, I just let it come up. Okay, so there it is. So you guys tap into that. There's that fear. Okay, and I want you to just notice where you're feeling it in your body. People feel it in different places. I tend to feel it either in my heart or in my power center, in my gut. And a lot of times when it's in my gut, it's because I feel powerless. When it's in my heart, it's usually because I'm empathic. I'm feeling so much of everybody else's fear. So I just want you to identify, just so you know, okay, this is what the fear feels like, okay? So we acknowledge it. We just observe the fear. Then we address it. We address the fear. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for making me aware that I'm carrying this in my body. Thank you for helping me to see something that is out of alignment with the truth of who I am. Thank you. So I acknowledge the fear. I recognize where it is in my body. And then I thank you for sharing. Thank you for allowing me to see how much energy I'm putting into this that I'm not even conscious of. Thank you for creating that awareness for me. Okay, so that would be number 2. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. I just talked. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, fear, for letting me know. Thank you, body, for telling me this fear is living inside of me. And then we want to, because what that's doing is it's shifting it, right? So it's shifting it from just living inside and you pushing it down and not really paying attention, and you're bringing it up and recognizing this is a belief I'm having, which a belief is just a thought you think over and over again, right? So this is a belief that I'm experiencing right now, and it is activated, and it's bringing it into your conscious awareness. So your body is reminding you, hey, this is here. It's not going anywhere. You can't push it down. It's here, right? I'm living with it right now. So once I acknowledge it, thank you for sharing. Thank you for letting me be aware that I'm giving so much power to this. Then the next step is to literally, let me think, like flip it. So thank you for sharing, and take your power back from it. I'm not going there. I'm not choosing to invest my energy in this. So taking some power back by saying, thank you for sharing, but I'm not interested in putting my attention there any longer. I am not willing to give this fear any more power. I will not go there any longer. So I do something like, thank you for sharing. I'm not choosing to go there. What I am choosing is, and make a choice. Where do you want your energy to go? And make a choice and affirm that choice. I choose to believe that I am healthy and strong and can manage the environment that I am living in and stay safe. I choose to trust that I have the ability to heal through whatever it is. I choose to know that even though right now I feel scared, that the sun's going to come up tomorrow and there'll be a new day and something will shift. I choose. So we get into the choice so we can choose. See, when you're in fear, a lot of times you're not recognizing that you're choosing that. It doesn't feel like you choose it because we get so focused, so hyper-focused on the fear that we forget that we have a choice in how we want to show up in it. You have a choice in how you want to show up in it. And if it doesn't feel good to you, it's usually because it's not good. If it doesn't feel good to you, it's because it's not good. So it's taking your power. You're giving your power to it. So thank you for sharing. So find the fear. What is the fear? Recognize it. Notice where you feel it in your body. Thank you, fear, for allowing me to recognize that you're with me and that I do not want to choose that anymore. So thank you for sharing. I'm not interested in putting my attention there. I choose to put my attention, and then some kind of affirmation or positive direction that helps you to move the energy, that helps you to redirect that energy, that helps you to empower yourself. Some kind of positive thought, positive word, and even bringing in a positive feeling so that you create more energy in this moment. So once you've done that, made that choice, then you can do something like affirmations of, in this moment, I'm healthy. In this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I have the ability to choose how to spend my time, energy, money, etc. In this moment, I have all of the things that I need. In this moment, I choose to be calm. So one of the things that I want to help you think about is that the fear that's happening, guys, it is rampant. It's rampant. But you do not have to get in that lane. You don't have to. You can have the fear, but then address it. Don't just let it live inside of you and rule you. Don't let it take your power from you. Don't let it take your energy. Haven't you already lost enough energy to fear in your life? And aren't you ready to free yourself from it? And right now, I know this isn't the easiest time to practice this. This is the hardest time to practice this because we're in it right now. But this is the time we have to talk about it. This is the time we have to use those tools. This is the time that we have to recognize that we do not want to allow ourselves to be infected with fear. Because the infection of fear is far more dangerous than any infection, really. Fear will kill you slowly, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month. Fear will kill you slowly. Again, these are some tools that I want to just help you to maybe make some shifts, because we have got to get in a place. If you choose, now you can choose to stay in the fear, you have a right to that, and I would never tell anybody what they have to do. But if you know that there is something within you that is saying, I want to feel different, and I'm reading some of these things that just feel not true. There is a lot of not true things on the media, as you all know. A lot of clickbait, a lot of bullshit, a lot of hype, a lot of frenzy, a lot of hysteria. It's great for ratings. It is not great for your soul. So the collective consciousness, guys, We can affect that. You can affect that. We can make that change now. We can start to shift this energy so that we are not continuing to just go along with it. And I think that's why my spirit called me to jump on and share this with you, is I can't continue to just go along with it. I recognize absolutely that we have to be mindful and that you have to make choices based on what is right for you. And I would not negate that for anyone. But fear and living in the fear is not ever healthy for any of us. It's not healthy. And we have the ability, you know, the collective consciousness right now is so fear-based that what's happening, what concerns me is that the momentum is building. It's getting more and more scary as people make more and more choices that feel more isolating and cause us to feel more powerless, right? The momentum is building. The fear is taking over. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yet the virus itself, if we actually really look into the details of it, as of today, 113,000 people have been infected. In a typical flu season, between 290,000 and 650,000 deaths occur a year. 113,000 people have been infected. I think it's up to about 4,000 deaths. In a typical seasonal flu is 290,000 to 650,000 deaths. So the point being, yeah, I mean, we have a better chance of being struck by lightning, winning the lottery. And again, it doesn't negate that if you are someone that has a weakened immune system, take care of yourself. If you are, don't go out in crowds. Do the things that you feel like you need to do for yourself, if that's what you're guided to do. But I would say listen to your spirit over and above everything else, because that will guide you. But fear, my friends, it breaks down our bodies. We know that stress affects our health. We know that. What is it? 80% of all diseases are stress related. So all of this information, all of this media, all of the news that's out there, every little message that you see on social media, the news that you might turn on, I never turn it on, it's adding more stress, which is breaking down the immune system, which is what can make people sick. So isn't it interesting that the law of attraction would be that if we put this energy of fear and fear and fear out, we're going to bring it more and more to us. Not necessarily the disease of the virus of the coronavirus, but the disease of fear. So I'm hoping that in doing that short little exercise that I just shared with you, that it might give you a tool to help you to transmute some of that fear and to shift it, to shift the energy to a higher vibration. Well, what is the higher vibration for? The higher vibration we're reaching for, it's love. It's love. A friend of mine, Ann Albers, wrote a message today. She channels the angels, and I've worked with her. She's a colleague of mine. We both are angel communicators, and she channeled a message, and it's exactly the words that I've heard, exactly the same words. So we do similar work. We work with the angels. Fear is the virus. Love is the immunity. Fear is the virus. Love is the immunity. Those were the exact words that were said to me. Fear is the virus. And again, I don't want to negate that we don't have a serious issue here. What I want to say is let's take our power back from it. So I've got a couple of notes I wrote down that might be helpful for you as well. First of all, reminding yourself to pull into this moment. In this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I'm secure. In this moment, I have plenty of food. In this moment, I'm healthy. In this moment, and pull yourself into the now. That's all we have is the now. It's all we have is this moment right now. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. In this moment, using your power and your energy and your visualizations to shift the energy of the collective consciousness, to be the lighthouse. We are light beings, and we have the ability. And when our brothers and sisters are in fear, we can stand up and step in and help support them when they can't see that. And that might be difficult. It might be frustrating. It might be overwhelming to be able to do that. But this is what we're being called for. This is what some of us have been training for years, is to stand in a space and hold the energy of love and light in face of the adversity and the fear, in the face of that adversity. And right now we're in adversity. The other thing that I noted is a couple of other things that might be helpful is when your body gets under stress, it gets weakened, and it weakens your immune system. Yes, like we know that, right? So a couple of things that might be helpful for you to get out of that stress, outside of some of the physical things we talked about, is I'm a real big fan of a brain dump. You know, writing down all of your fears and burning them. So I call it writing and burning, but the dump is just getting all that shit out of your head and onto paper and then burn it so it transmutes it. So you don't keep, like, let's just say this is your little, these are my notes. Before I sat down, I just sat with the spirit and just channeled a few things that I wanted to share with all of you and that they wanted me to share with you. And one of those things was, you know, we've got to get that energy out of our body, because that's what attracts lower vibration to us. And so if you can take 10 minutes and just write all of your fears out, write them all out, and then burn it. What that does is it shifts the energy, it transmutes it. It takes that energy you're carrying here or here, wherever your fear was, it takes that energy and it moves it onto paper. And then when you burn it, you literally change the form. Energy cannot be created, it cannot be destroyed, but it can change form. So it changes the form from fear, and you move it onto paper. Now your body feels like there's some space, right? And then when you burn the paper, it turns it to ash, and then the ash blows in the wind, and it goes and it goes and it nurtures the earth. And that is a transmutation, a shift from a negative to a positive. And anytime you do that, when you do a write and burn like that, just to get that shit out of your body, out of your head, out of your mind, and you burn it, then it's always important to take 5 minutes and do some kind of visualization and bring some loving energy in, bring some light in. So do the white light of spirit, God of your understanding, bring in some loving energy, maybe some affirmations, maybe play a song that fills you up, but something that fills this space that's been carrying that fear up. Because if you just empty yourself and then you don't fill up with something that's a higher vibration, it will just attract that fear right back to what you already know, where you've already been. So that's a great tool, doing that brain dump, getting that stuff out, and then writing it out and burning it so that it moves from your body. And then make sure you fill up. Bring that light, love energy of who you really are in, so that you can transmute that energy. And then your body doesn't naturally go right back to the fear. That's a great, great practice, one that I use often when I'm in a fearful place. Because again, guys, there isn't a problem that you have fear. It's that you stay in it. And the reality of it is the fear will kill you slowly. And it is. And it's robbing us of our energy, of days and weeks and hours and minutes. And we could choose something different. You can choose something different if you want. So there's some great tools that I shared before. Being mindful. Meditation is great way to just tap in. I would suggest doing some visualizations. Those of you that are more aware of your intuitive abilities, that are visual, that can see and feel energy, those of you that are empaths, be very mindful to be very, very aware of holding and maintaining your own energy. I call in the angels to help me with that, specifically Archangel Michael, because as empaths, we're feeling the energy and the weight of the world and the density and the heaviness, and it's hard. So if you felt like you've been in a bad mood, if you felt like you've been grumpy, if you feel like you're like just kind of pissy and just off, I'm not going to say that can be that has to be your excuse, because maybe you just are grumpy and pissy and off. But it could also be that you're just carrying all of this heavy vibration and you don't know what to do with it. The other thing I wanted to mention is that part of what is happening here that causes so much fear is that we feel out of control. People are feeling out of control in a lot of ways. They're feeling out of control in maybe their health. They're feeling out of control right now in their finances, especially if you've lost some money in your 401ks or your IRAs and things like that. They're feeling out of control in the choices that that our governments and our education systems are making for us. So they're just feeling out of control. And when we feel out of control, we tend to, number one, tighten up. We tend to get in more fear, and we tend to hold on hard. And so the thing is guys, we're never really in control. We just feel like we are, or think we are, or want to be. So if we can get into a place of flexibility and a place of, you know what, I trust in my ability to figure things out, and everything is figure outable, and we'll figure it out. But we're not going to figure it out from a place of fear. We're going to figure it out with love. And if we can come together in that place of love, that is what can shift this planet. So each and every one of you that's watching this, each and every one of you that aligns with this message, if you don't align with this message, if you're like, whatever, that girl's quacky, then that's fine, then don't share. But if you do align with this message, then spread that word, spread the word. Let's visualize our planet in the energy of love. Let's imagine that we're infusing this love into each and every person that's feeling fear. And let's extend that to, you know, your house, and then let's extend it to your street, and then let's extend it to your block, and then your neighborhood, and then your city, and then your state, and then your country, and then your continent, and then your world, and then the universe, and then all of the planets and all of the galaxies. Like, let's surround ourselves with that love so that we can receive it. Because here's the thing, guys, that I know. I'm not saying I know a lot, but here's one thing I for sure know, is I know that fear creates more fear. And I know that love creates more love. And we have got to, in order to shift this energy and help bring a change to what is becoming a mass hysteria, we've got to get into love. And we're all responsible. We are all responsible. We can't just be responsible for ourselves right now, guys. We cannot, because some of our brothers and sisters are infected. They're either infected with the virus or they're infected with the fear virus, one or the other. And if you're not right now, then it's your turn. It's your time. There's nobody that we can wait for to do this for us. It is us. It is you. If you've been waiting and waiting to see, well, what is it that I'm meant to do in this world? Here you go. Here it is right now. It's time. Be the light. Shine the light. Speak of love. Help people to transmute that fear. Hear them and recognize, hey, I'm not trying to get rid of your fear. I'm not telling you not to be afraid. I'm just asking you, let's flip it. Let's find a way to redirect it. Let's not keep pushing it down and letting it take over our bodies where it's going to weaken your immune system. Don't let that stress take you over. Instead, transmute it. It's time to shift. It is time to shift. So my friends, I gave you a couple of tools. I'm hoping that you will use those. If you've just jumped on recently in the last 10 minutes or so, there's a couple of great techniques that could help you if you're sitting in a place of fear, and if you're struggling with some of this and knowing, okay, well, what should I believe and what shouldn't I believe? You know, it's difficult because we used to believe our news media, but we can't really believe the media anymore. This has become big business for them, and fear sells. And it's selling well, and it's working well. So if you are someone who wants to align with the energy of love, then you have to be the change that you wish to see in this world. And so I'm asking you to join me. I'm asking you to join me in shining the light. I'm asking you to join me in being a lighthouse. I'm asking you to join me in focusing on love. I'm asking you to join me in connecting to the greater energy of healing that we all have within us. I'm asking you to join me in calling in whatever is your belief system. God, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, Buddha, Mother Truth. It doesn't matter to me who you invite in. Whatever feels in alignment for you. If you're someone who prays, pray. If you're someone who meditates, meditate. If you're someone who walks in nature and makes that connection, then do that. But do that thing that fills you up, that calls you into connection, and then allow that love to flow from you, to you and through you first. To you and through you, and then out into others. Because we can be the ones we're waiting for. We are. And it's up to us right now. It's up to us right now, my friends. So If you have some questions, if you have some comments, I'm going to take a couple minutes right now to answer those. So I'm going to be reading them. I haven't been reading them if you've been talking as I've been talking. I really just wanted to get that message out. I'm going to be posting some things on this page. I've got a couple of images. Be a lighthouse, which I think is a powerful message. And I actually feel guided to share a message from my my angel book here. I don't know which one yet, so I'm going to wait until the right one comes to me. But I'm going to be sharing some posts that might just be supportive of being that light and being that love. So if you feel guided to that, then you certainly can share those as well. Does anybody have any comments or questions or anything they want to share? And I think I'm going to do an invocation of the angels to end this time with. And if you're someone who you're not into angels, you don't have to be into angels. I just feel guided to share a connection with the angels because ultimately, like I said, my friend Ann Albers wrote this on her page, and it was the exact message that I wrote on my notes here. I have 4 little pages of notes that I was receiving before I came in. When I went into meditation, I have my beautiful little candle lit. Let me turn it the other way. My beautiful little candle lit, and went into meditation and received some guidance and a couple of things to share with all of you. And that was the message that Spirit gave me. Fear is the virus, love is the immunity. And then I saw it on Ann Albers' page as well, and her and I have been connecting and working with the angels for so long, and so that was a beautiful reminder and validation. So I hope, my friends, that this has brought you some value. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you feel like this message is important, share it on your page, share it in your communities, share it in your groups, because I really, my goal is let's lighten this vibration, guys. It's time to be a part of the solution. The more we talk about it, the more we fear it, the more we're part of the problem, and it grows. We are part of the solution. We are solution-oriented people. We can find a solution. So let's be a part of the solution and just shift our energy. Let's take our power back from the fear and shift it into love. We can all do that. I know you can. I'm here for you. If you have comments and questions, I'm happy to answer, and I'm going to end with a prayer. So I'm going to go ahead and do the prayer first. Thank you all for joining me. And again, I honor you, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Okay, this is an invocation of the archangels by me, Sunny Dawn Johnston. I invoke the blue light of Archangel Michael to surround and protect me. I ask him to bring me courage and strength, and to help me to maintain my energy from any negativity, seen or unseen. I ask the brilliant blue energy of Archangel Michael be placed over me, allowing only that which is for my highest good. I now invoke the white light of Archangel Gabriel to envelop me in his energy of purity and peace. I ask that he help me to communicate with intention that which is in my heart through my words, thoughts, and feelings of light and love. I now invoke the golden red energy of Archangel Uriel to fill me with wisdom, clarity, and vision. Help me to soothe the conflict in my life and replace it with the knowledge and understanding of a bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture. I ask that Uriel help me to make choices that are the wisest for my personal journey. And in closing, I invoke the green light of Archangel Raphael to pour health and well-being into my bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. To pour health and well-being into each and every one of our brothers and sisters on this planet. To help us allow the healing to be received wholeheartedly, and to guide us to our own natural healing abilities. Thank you, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you, my friends, for joining me. It's time to love up, right? Let's love up.